This is Vo-Gus prospecting, and welcome to the disaster that is my shed behind me here. No matter how many benches I buy, we fill it up with things. Hopefully this weekend is treating you well. It is a hot one here in Australia, and I am in my shed with the air conditioning streaming through in the background. And with it being live, we may run into some technical difficulties, so just bear that in mind because there is a good chance that at some point it'll drop out, we'll lose a connection, something will happen. But we digress. What we're doing today is making pay dirt up. Now I want to show you the other end of what we do here on Vo-Gus prospecting. And the reason for that is that a lot of the time I'm teaching things like how to prospect, what to do when you're out on the creek prospecting, what to look for, and there's more to it than that. Whilst most of us do this as a hobby, as a pastime, something to do on the weekends, we're just going to arrange the camera a little bit better. There is the question of, well, I am a gold prospector and I have got gold and I have found gemstones and I have found crystals and I would like to sell them because I need the money or I need some more financial income than what I currently have. And because I'm digging up this gold from the ground, maybe we could exchange some of that for cash. And how do I go about that? And one of the ways you can do it is through pay dirt. I want to show you how I build it. I want to show you how I make some of the pay dirts that we've got on the website. And so you get an understanding of what you're getting, why we've built it like we've built it, and also hopefully to give you guys some ideas. You know, obviously a lot of people out there want to sell their gold. I'm one of the people that will buy people's gold from them. You know, I'm not a huge company, but we do trade for the small prospect and we try to give really close to spot price without purity tests and things of that nature so that we can help support the community and grow it. With all of that being said, let's kind of jump into it. We're going to check out chat because I've got to bring that up, live chat. There we go. Joshua, what's going on? Heath, I dig rocks. I love that username. Mr. Snickers, Dylan, Colton, what's going on? Dan, man, you got, there's heaps of people in chat. Craigos Gold, hey from New Zealand. My brother, Team B here. You need to see these rocks I have that match up perfectly to massive mountain ranges in Western Australia. That would be cool, man. Wicked. All right, so we're going to do a couple of things today. We're going to make 1 gram pay dirts because they're my challenge bags and I've got no stock of them at the moment, so we've got to make some of them. I want to make 1/2 gram gem and crystal pay dirts. And I was going to continue bagging up some of my sapphire pay dirts that we just got in. Which one of them would you like to see first? And we'll go through describing. And also at the same time, if you guys have prospecting questions, generalized stuff, ask away. I will be checking chat periodically and we can talk about that. Chris, so there's another Chris. We're very common. We were very common back in the 90s, but we're not so common now. Backcountry explorers. So like I say, guys, if there's something that you would like to see first, let me know. You got mentioned from the AU squad in New South Wales. Yeah, how hot is it up there at the moment? Summer haircut. Yeah, man, you gotta cool down, right? Because it's boiling out here, right? Well, if no one has any suggestions of what we're going to make first, I think we're going to do the 1 grammers. So we'll bring some stuff up and we'll get going. This monstrosity of a tub here. Let me just turn you guys around. There we go. This is my 1 gram pay dirt. It doesn't look that dangerous right now, but if we look closely at it, can you see the amount of black sand in there? That is 100% pure nightmare stuff. That is the fuel that keeps prospectors awake. I say on my website, crying is allowed after hour 3 doing this stuff, and there's a reason for that. This is all cassiterite mixed with unprocessed concentrates. So that means that all the lighter colored material in here is essentially going to turn into mud when you start panning it, making it visually very difficult to see through. And then on top of that, you got cassiterite in there, which if you don't know what that is, it's tin ore. And this is my big bucket of tin ore. That is pure tin. 70% metal by weight, this stuff is. Very difficult to move. Now, this is all one uniform size. This is the stuff that makes the pay dirt really challenging. And there is probably 50% of this makes up, well, 50% of this is that in this bucket, we have unprocessed high banking concentrates. So there's gold in this, and there's little gemstones, and there's lots and lots and lots and lots of black sand. And this adds your extra sizes of black sand. So instead of it all being one uniform size like in this bucket, we've got this bucket, which has different sizes of black sands, but all your gemstones, unprocessed gold. This is where your bonus gold comes from. So we don't know how much gold's in that, but it is high banker tailings. It's high banker concentrates out of the sluice mats. So we've got to get some more because this bucket was full, but here we are. Anyway, so we're going to do these bags. Now, we don't generally do these by weight, and the reason for that is every time we mix this in, it's a little bit different just depending on where we got our cons and what we put in it. As you can see, this time I've mixed in, for a little bit of a bonus and something exciting, some natural tourmaline crystals. These tourmaline crystals I've mined locally myself. They're directly from the source, so they're part of veins that are shedding tons of this stuff. So we've mixed in some tourmaline crystals in there to guarantee that there's something interesting, but most of this is just nightmare fuel. We need a bunch of bags. So there's a couple parts to the process of making these pay dirts, right? We want to make sure that you guys have a challenging time. This is challenge pay dirt after all. And that's why we make sure it's at a minimum of 50% black sand, that you've got unsearched cons so you can get bonus gold. One guy reported finding 2.03 grams of gold in his 1 gram bag recently, which I thought was pretty amazing. And I thought, damn, I should be charging more for that. Anyway, so these bags are great. They're really hardy. We've shipped these overseas and they've been pounded to the absolute hell and not split open. And generally speaking, one really big full scoop from the Garrett tends to fill them up. Now, we've got to leave a little air gap in the top there because when we go to close this up, it'll compress. And you can see that now that bag is actually probably almost overfull. We'll double check. No, it's right on. So usually one full Garrett scoop is enough. So that's the first stage. We just got to fill these bags up, which is going to be kind of tedious and boring viewing, I'm sure. But if you guys have questions in chat, now is definitely the time for you to ask them, and I'll talk through while we're doing it. .66 grams of gold in a gem and crystal. That's pretty good, man, because the gem and crystal's only rated for a guaranteed half gram. We do mix that with the same high banker concentrates, so there's a good chance that you will get bonus gold in that as well. Again, I purchase a lot of local prospecting gold, so that's how most of these bags are made, is with people's gold who have mined it from up in the Buckland River all the way to El Dorado and Reedy Creek. And it just means that we have a very diverse mix of gold in there. And then what we do is we go out and process concentrates on the creek and put them in that bucket so that we have bonus gold. Now, we never know how much is in there. We usually find a spot that's giving us between 5 and 10 specks a shovel. Not super rich, but, you know, super interesting. Lots of gemstones and stuff. See, that one's over full. It's right on that line. It's not going to work. There we go. Yeah, so 0.66, that means you got, I put a minimum of between 0.51 and 0.52 grams of gold in each bag myself, which means you netted, what, a 0.14 gram bonus in that bag. That's pretty cool. So all of these are going to be 1 gram pay dirts. Good afternoon, it's midnight for you. Oh man, it's not midnight for us. Dean, you're most welcome. We love putting these adventures out there for you. It is kind of tricky at the moment. Summertime, we're like deep summer, and obviously the water is an issue at the moment. And not only the water, we've got plenty of snakes out. I almost stepped on a brown snake yesterday while I was looking for a new spot. Spiders. Bloody water scorpions, if you haven't seen my latest release. Holy crap. I never knew water scorpions were a thing, but here we are. New and exciting, dangerous creatures. Cool. All right. That is the boring filling bit done. Let's do the gold. Spin you around. So each of these bags is going to get 1 gram of gold in it. Oh, Rodney. Whoa, welcome, man. The sapphires that we're going to be doing very soon come from Rodney. Rodney, I don't know. Oh, you won't be able to post a link, but if I've got an admin in chat, which I may or may not, it would be great to get Rodney's social media put up. It's about the same here at the moment. I think it's 35 or 36 today. So here's some gold. This is what we're going to do. We've just classified these out. So this is all of our plus 20 mesh gold. And like I said, this comes from a few different places. Some of it's mine, a lot of it's other prospectors, but you can see a very diverse range. Most of this was recovered using sluice boxes and pans. A little bit, like these big boys, were recovered using detectors. Ronald, the bags range from $22 all the way up to $370. So it just depends on which one you want and what you want to get. Now, we use reloading scales. And the reason we use reloading scales is because, generally speaking, if you're using firearms, the things need to be accurate. Now, a couple of things we do: make sure that we have no dust and bullcrap sitting there. We put the weight on, we turn it on, and we wait for it to tear off. All right, so it's on grains, switch over to mode. This should say -50. If it doesn't, we have to calibrate. -50. So we know our scales are calibrated because this is what we do. We also double check calibration throughout the process because it can drift just like that. So small little 0.1 drifts and stuff, we always put more gold than what we guarantee in there to make sure that if any of these little drifts happen during that time, we don't accidentally rip off one of our customers. So now we can tear off our plate and we can get going. So what I like to do with the 1 grammers is I'm going to take out these big boys because I've got plans for the big boys. So those 2 real nice nuggets we've got some plans for in the near future. But what you're looking at between the gold that's in here, I'll show you this, the gold that's in here, the gold that's in there is worth about $12,000, believe it or not. It doesn't look like very much, but it sure adds up. So we've got to make 1 gram. Now I like to do a 1/4 gram of chunky boys in the 1 grammers at the moment because I've got the, well, there you go, 0.35, so we can skip straight on past the rest of that tip. But the reason that I do that is just, it's a bit of fun, right? Like, you want to have some chunky bits because the rest of this is just nightmare fuel. Oh, there's your 1. So we've got to go slightly over. 1.01. There we go. So now that's our guaranteed amount, right? This is what's going in one of these bags right now. We've got a specimen down in there. We've got some nice big flakes and just a bunch of other gold. Put it in a bag. Put that on. And then we move this bag off to the side. So we do not get it confused because that would be bad. It'd be bad business anyway. So again, 0.08. About a 1/4 gram. 0.3. All right, well, we're going with 0.3s today, apparently. It's nice to give people some false hope. You'll see some big bits in your pay dirt bags and you'll be like, oh, hell yeah, this is going to be easy as to pan. But it's not, because when it ends up happening, there we go, 1.02. What ends up happening is you've got to recover all that fine crap. And that fine stuff's the real difficult stuff to get out of that pay dirt. Greetings from Amsterdam. Man, I got tattooed in Amsterdam. That was pretty cool. There we go, 0.23. That's what I was aiming for. Oh, Dan, your wife Kath is watching from the other end of the house. Why? Why is she not with you? It's a bit rude. You should go make her a really nice drink and then go sit next to her. Unless, of course, you guys have had a fight or something. Then maybe give her some space. I don't know. There we go. As you can see, we always go over our minimum guarantee. Always. Because the last thing we want to do is rip anyone off with what we've advertised. And we make sure that it is still remaining 0. We're not getting any drift. You think about it, so a gram of gold now is worth over 140 Australian dollars. Oh, I forgot to do the chunky stuff. So a gram of gold is worth over 140 Australian dollars at the minute. Unfortunately, I am going to have to put my prices up because now that we're buying gold off local prospectors for damn near, well, spot price, and by the time you pay GST and the website fees and a few other things like that, it leaves you with extremely skinny profit margins. People don't understand, like I might be selling a gram of gold for $187 in one of these bags at the moment. By the time you take into account all of those fees, it is monumental with how much you lose. Like I might be making between $10 and $15 a bag if I'm lucky. So the scales will change in their calibration as things like temperature and use. So the more you use them, the more it will tend to drift. So I like to double check these things as we go. We better give you the first person view. Ooh. Nice. Oh, it's getting sweaty in the shed, I tell you what. Right, so we are going to double check. I saw a 0.4 drift before, so we're just going to tear this off. And then we're going to put this on. Still 0.01, so that's fine. It says within a 0.0, it's up here somewhere actually. I should double check that. 1/10 of a gram. There you go. So you're looking for less than, sorry, the 0.01. If it's more than 0.01 of drift, that's when you should recalibrate, is what the scales suggest. Joze. Is that Jose? Man, I'm going to butcher your name. I do apologize, but I'm not very good at the enunciation of some names. I am doing that idea. So I've actually got a tub sitting over on my workbench that has all the shop floor sweepings, all of everything, right? I've kept all of it for the last couple of months, and we're going to find out just how much gold I have spilt over the last, I actually think the last time I did it was 12 months ago, but I'm going to say safely 6 months. Hey, we got Rocky Mountain Prospector in the house. What's going on? Okay, we can do a bit more in this one. So it's a bit of a potluck. The idea of these little chunky bits too is to give you a bit of excitement when you're doing it. I don't want it to all be torture. I mean, most of it will be, but not all of it. Whoa, that's slightly too much, Christopher. Slightly too much. So now we have to back some of this off just because obviously 0.13 over, that's my entire profit margin for a lot of these bags. And that's why we don't want to, there we go, 0.103. So that's the sort of tolerances that we're talking about in terms of where I have the ability to make money. And, I'm not sitting in a 35-degree shed doing this for free. So there's got to be some kind of meat left on the bones, as it were, in order for me to make a profit, and especially be able to pay close to spot price. And so that is too far over. And that's why we mix it with high banker tailings we've dug up ourselves. I say tailings all the time. High banker concentrates that we've dug up ourselves, so that you do get bonus gold, but it doesn't actually cost us much because we're making money off the back end from filming it. That is the difference. It's very close. Whoop. Straight over the top. There we go. All right, so that is our bags done. We've made 7 bags all in. Look at that, 7 bags. So there is $140 per bag of gold in these, guaranteed. And then obviously you get the bonus golds, but we can't guarantee how much bonus gold you're going to get because we don't search the pay dirt. Sometimes I forget to shake them. You got to shake them, otherwise all the gold sits up at the top. Actually, I'll see if I can get a good shot of that. Let me just move the gold out of the way so I don't bump it. Turn it this way. All right. See the gold down in there? Right there. Ready? Gone. So these are our 1 gram guarantee bags. Now we've got half gram guarantee bags. They're made in exactly the same way. The only difference is the half gram, so they're more affordable. Ralph, yeah, man, it's a proper challenge bag. Hey, they're not for the faint of heart. I've had people send me messages like, oh, I'm a really good panner and I'll do this, no worries. And they buy a 1 gram bag and they'll send me a message like 2 days after they get it saying I'm still going. So, so it's different. It just hits different. This stuff just hits different. Now, the seals in these bags are pretty good, and I could electronically heat these up and melt them together, and then you've got the tear tabs. But what I do, which is cheaper and quicker, is just run a piece of tape across the top here and fold it over. And the reason for that is that these seals occasionally pop open. The old bags that I was using were much worse at it. These bags have been really good. So the seal on these ones is a lot more consistent, and it's seemingly just staying together how it should stay together. So we're sticking with these bags now. And stickers. I finally got professional and went out and got some stickers. It took me long enough to do it. I spent almost a year doing this job before I managed to get ahead and go ahead and do this. So we're not going to tape them here, but this is basically our final product. The other one that I've just finished up making before I started the stream was the kids pay dirt. So the kids pay dirt is just screened river gravel, unsearched screened river gravel. So we classified a 1/4 inch, and then we've put that river gravel in here. So there's no added black sands. There's nothing difficult. It's meant to be fun, right? And then we've added a bunch of crystals and gemstones and a guaranteed 0.1 gram of gold. And we make that 0.1 gram of gold out of this material here. So the pieces are really easy to get because they are big, they're large, they're not going to float away. That's how we made the kids pay dirt. I'm going to keep moving though, because I've got to keep getting these stuck. Hey, Trev, you're here. Trev, I need a favor, mate. Can you look up Avago Brothers and Gemfest for me? Or Rodney, if you could point him in the right direction, and we can put up a link, because, man, Gemfest was by far the best prospecting event I have ever been to, and it deserves all the help in the world. I want to support the crap out of that event. I cannot wait for it to happen again this year. I'm so looking forward to going back up to Queensland, doing the gem fields. It's going to be sweet. What's this? A bilge pump. If we're talking about little electronic motors, you can pretty much buy everything you need at a pump supply shop. Yeah, just pond transfer pumps is usually a good one to pick up. And then variable speed boxes and stuff. You go from J-Car, or you know, a battery supply place can also usually provide you with speed controllers for things of that nature. Hang on, I got to read that. Why don't you fold the top to the front and then put the label on? And that would save you time and tape it. What do I know? Yeah, look, man, I'm sure I'm doing this ass about, but we're doing this on a live stream, and so it's a little bit different to how I would normally do it as well. Something that you got to remember is that when you got a camera in front of you and a bunch of people in your shed, I've got 214 people in my shed at the moment, things get a little more tricky. But I agree, there's definitely going to be an easier way. Alaskan Assassin Adventures. Man, that sounds fancy. Man, that was a bit of a wrinkled one. Well, if you get a wrinkled one, you'll know you saw it. You know you saw it made here. Right, the next one we're going to move on to is this. So this is our gem and crystal pay dirt. Now, gem and crystal pay dirt, but we're going to add a half gram of gold to this. So we've got one that's gem, crystal, and half gram gold. So this is only $55. It's a lot cheaper because we're able to mine and source the gemstones and crystals a lot cheaper than we are gold. The gold costs $150 because it's got a half gram of gold in it, plus all the gemstones and whatnot. this is what it looks like on the inside. Now, if we're lucky, we may be able to wiggle something shiny to the top. No, not happening. Well, sort of. There you go. That's right there. Let's go focus. Right there, you can see a little couple of crystal points there. So let me explain how this is made, and then we will start making some of them. Rob, I give out stickers with every single purchase. I give out stickers and I give out figurines and I give out a bunch of different. Look at my hands. Well, let me gesticulate for you. I give out stickers. I wish I had some behind me here. I give out stickers, little figurines. I do bonus bags too, where I'll send people crystals and gemstones and just coins and just stuff, especially if people have been a long time supporter. We send out heaps of free stuff all the time. Right. Have I ever sent gold to Argentina? No, I haven't. No, that's one place I have not sent. Ready? Ooh. 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 These are local points. So some of these I dug up myself, but most of these I got off a friend of mine, Kyle. Now, Kyle found an amazing amethyst deposit. As part of that amethyst deposit, he found a bunch of crystal points and clusters. We have put some through a tumbler just for funsies because we wanted to see what they would look like, especially like the broken clusters that weren't really much when we put them in. They turn into these really kind of neat looking crystal pieces. We quite like them, but there are a lot of unprocessed. Look at this, double terminated smoky quartz point, still with its calcite covering. Like freaking amazing. It's so cool. So lots of these. Now, these were locally mined, these ones here. We have a bunch of other stuff that goes into this. So let me just tidy this stuff up first because we've got gold and whatnot just floating around, and that is not ideal. Right, put that there. Where is my... Oh, I just remembered. Hang on. I just remembered something. This is our great wall of stuff that we would normally have all of our packaging in. I don't have any gemstone crystal painter things left. That's okay. I guess I'm going to have to go to the shops and get that. We're going to move on to sparkle bags. I wish I could show you the process of making this. This stuff is cool, right? So what we would do is we take a large percentage of crystals. We would about 1/3 fill one of these with this material here. Then we have unsearched pay dirt. What we do is we go into a place like where we get the amethyst from, and we dig up this dirt down here. Switch around. I've got Fernie sleeping next to me. This is the stuff just here. So this is unsearched crystal material, right? If I grab a random ass handful of this, let's just have a look at it. Hopefully you'll be able to make it out, but we've got a really thin crystal point just here at the end of my thumb. This is a little cluster. That's a plate. That's another crystal just there. You can actually see the crystal faces on it. That's actually got a little bit of purple in it. So this is unsearched. So we 1/3 fill it with the stuff we dug out properly, like we sorted through it. Then we take this material and we mix it with that, and then we add a bunch of other gemstones and crystals that we would normally source from different suppliers right across the country. There's a couple of suppliers that I use out of country to get things like lapis lazuli, which we don't have here. But for the most part, they're sourced from Queensland. There's a little bit of stuff from New South Wales and Victoria. So, but most of it's coming from Queensland. And there's just some really good gem fields up there that have a lot of different stuff. So we get our garnets from there. We actually have a local turquoise spot, which is really cool. So we've got some turquoises going in there that's been tumbling and whatnot. Anyway, sparkle bags is what we're going to move on to because I've actually got some of them. We need, first and foremost, some slobber bags. And then we're going to get a gold pan. Now, what we're going to do to make our sparkle bags are about giving people a taste for gemstones. They're only $22, right? So there's not a heap of material in them. The idea is that you get to pick through, pan off, search through something that is just really exciting. What we put in them is a bunch of small tumbled crystals and gemstones, as well as some raw stuff. So I'm going to go get the constituents from it over on my shelf. Jars of crystals. Look at this. So, like I said, most of this is the stuff that we have outsourced right across the country. A couple of them have been from overseas. In this jar, we have pieces of citrine. We have amethyst points in here. These are almandine garnets. And, oh my God, Braden's going to have a stroke. This is... I can picture the name in my head. I don't know. I've forgotten what this is. What was this? It's listed on the website. It's listed. I should look at it better. Getting old in my old age. You know what? I know I listed it on the website. It'll be on there. Anyway, they're pretty cool looking. Chameleon. That's it. Thank you very much, AAA Rock Hounding. My brother coming to the rescue. Chameleon. There we go. They're tumble pieces of that. So that's some of it. We'll get the rest of it. Right. Now, sparkle bags have a little bit of everything, and it is random, but we guarantee 40 carats. We don't really need to measure that. And I know that sounds really dumb, but the amount of gemstones we pack into this, because they are, you know, smaller tumbled chips. We're not talking about premium specimens or stuff like that that you would get in your gemstone and crystal payloads. That's where we put clusters in, and we put like really good pieces of amethyst and et cetera, et cetera. Right. We've got some turquoise in this, and we also have peridot. Let's mix this together. This is the fun part. This is the part I really like. Right, so normally how I do it, bring this over. Now there's 5 carats per gram, so let's just put in a bunch of grams of this. 15 grams, all right. So 15 grams of that. Carnelian, now that I know it's carnelian. We're going to put in more than 15 grams of this, of our citrine. Probably, I'm going to aim for 20. Right, so now we've got 20 grams of that. And so the point of doing this is just to know that there's like, you know, thousands of carats worth of gemstones and crystals going into our product. This peridot, I love how peridot looks. It's only little, but I think putting them in pay dirt, it just looks really cool, especially once you get it wet. And this is the idea of sparkle bags. It's meant to look like a unicorn flight. We're going to put 30 grams of this in there. Heaps of it. There we go. So remember, 5 carats per gram, there's 30 grams in there. That's a lot of carats. That's a lot of carats going into these sparkle bags. Turquoise. Better tear that off. I would like to see 15 grams. There we go. Don't mind me while I'm fiddling around on the back end. Right, we've got our almandine garnets. So almandine garnets, we are going to tear that back off. Oh, it's because it's a lump. So our almandine garnets, I'm going to go for 20 grams because they're quite big. So we kind of need more than 15 grams or so just to make sure that people, you know, that we get a distribution of these across everything. Carrots are carrots. Carrots are carrots. CTS. All right. Now, when it comes to amethyst, this isn't great quality amethyst. I know. I wish there was more. I really, really, really do wish there was more. I don't generally do weights on things like amethyst. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place one of these into each bag because it's a sparkle bag. It's not meant to be your high-end bags. It's just meant to give you a taste of everything. So I don't want to put like 5 in one bag and none in another. And that way, if I mix this in with this, it'll get lost like that. And so we do that with the amethyst, and we also do that with our crystal points that we've got over here. And the last one that we've got is Tiger's Eye. So Tiger's Eye, I'm going to probably do 30 grams. Well, we're just spilling it everywhere, but that's okay. We'll go in the shop cleanup bag, won't it? Why are you bouncy? It's so bouncy. All right, 31. Jesus Christ, we got that everywhere. All right, so that is our mixture. So we're talking about a few thousand carats, and we're also talking about a big mess that I've created. So we're talking about a few thousand carats worth of gemstones and crystals that are going into this. Again, we still haven't even added any of the other stuff. And the sparkle bags are only 22 bucks, right? So the idea is that, again, I don't make buku bucks off that. It's $22, but there's some money tied up in this. There's some time, effort, energy, and money tied up in that. And then I've got GST, tax, packaging, sending, and my time. I probably make $3 or $4 off each one of these bags. So we give this a very, 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 very rough mix. And then, here's the exciting part, right? We come down here. We kind of disturb Fern a little bit. We mix it with this. This stuff here is screened, unsearched dirt. So you're definitely going to get some stuff in it, but I don't know exactly what you're going to get in it. And that's what makes it into your pay dirt. Right, so there are unsearched crystals in there. That's the added bonus. We only like to put small stuff in there because the bags themselves are small. I'd rather pack more into it, not necessarily bigger. And the bigger stuff's reserved for the premium pay dirts, the gem and crystals like this. I mean, it's the difference of, like, you buy this, you're guaranteed to get clusters and things of that nature, and a ton of gemstones in these for basically double the price of what this is. So you're probably getting 4 to 5 times the amount of dirt, crystals, all of that sort of stuff compared to what you would out of this. Now, the next thing we do is we mix it with this. This is our high bank of tailings, concentrates. One day I'm going to say the right word. This is our high bank of concentrates. There are lots of unsearched little gemstones in here, but lots of black sand and the chance for a little bit of gold. And so we mix that in because it just adds a nice little element, I think, to it. It also bulks up the dirt because right now we've only got stone in it, and I don't want just stone. So there'll be little pieces of garnet, zircon, the chance for things like sapphire and whatnot in these unsearched cons, as I explained before with the pay dirt. Right, so that's that. That's our sparkle bag mix. That will make a metric shit ton of sparkle bags. Man, 215 people watching. Happy weekend. Stumpy Picks came to the table and he created me a custom scoop. This is specifically for our slobber bag pay dirt. So this is the same size as one of our slobber bag pay dirts. We're not making slobber bags today, but slobber bags are completely unsearched pay dirt. We go to a premium spot, we work it out, then we just package it up and send it off. Some people have got over 2 grams in a slobber bag and they only cost $26, right? Whereas these sparkle bags, they're the same size, but obviously there's no guaranteed gold in them. We're not aiming to do that. So we get a level scoop like this and we put it in. We're going to leave a little bit of room because we're going to stick a crystal point in there. And we're going to stick, oh, where's my amethyst? We're also going to stick an amethyst point in there. And that, my friends, is a sparkle bag. Oh, except I did a really good premium job on just sealing that up just then. So that is a sparkle bag. And you can see in there, we've got some turquoise. I can see some peridot, and you can see all this dirt on the backside, which will be our Reedy Creek black sand and tin. You got a piece of amethyst at the top, you know, you got a crystal in there, and that's what we're going to keep doing. So now this is the point, because this is just repetitious of me filling this stuff up. If you have questions, now is the time to ask. The bottom scoops have the most in them. Nah, man. So what I tend to do is literally what I'm doing right now for that reason. We constantly remix it up. And I'm not just taking a random scoop and then dumping it in. I'm visually making sure that I see a ton of gemstones go in there before I pick that scoop. Because the last thing I want is someone to get a bag like this and be disappointed. And I've had a few people be disappointed with slubber bags, which makes sense because you're buying a random amount of something. You don't actually know how much is in there. I don't know how much is in there. It's completely random. And so like I said, some people have mad bags. Some people have insane bags. And others get a couple of flakes. And that's just the way it is. So we try to make sure that everyone's satisfied, but you can't please everyone. Again, we just pick a random ass point. So this point, yeah, we got a decent. Oh, it's actually got a little kicker on that. Look at that. It kind of looks like a dick, if I'm being honest, with a weird piercing. There you go. Someone's getting a penis rock. Sending someone a bag of dicks. What about a Yarra bag? Oh, mate, no, I couldn't find enough bloody used needles around here to make a Yarra bag. I like the sparkle bags. I think they're really cool. Like, it's just meant to be a bit of fun. It's meant to give you a bit of little kid excitement when you open it up, because there's just a ton of different stuff in there, right? And it's sourced from right across Australia. I said sometimes we have lapis that I'm able to put in it. At the moment, I don't, but here we are. Do I get strange looks purchasing those gram bags? You don't even know the half of it, man. I meet people to buy gold, right? I only buy gold in person. So if you've got gold for sale, you got gemstones, all of that sort of stuff, I will consider it. Like, send me an email via the website and I will consider it. I kind of buy it in waves too, just to let people know if you are considering selling to me. I buy in waves, right? I'm stocked up at the minute, but we will go through another round of buying gold and all that sort of stuff soon. And when I do it, because I'm meeting people in person, I'll buy an ounce of gold off someone or 2 ounces of gold, and then I've got $8,000 bloody cash sometimes. Not all the time. Like, a lot of the time people want bank transfers, but, you know, you get $8,000 in cash, and you're doing this dodgy-ass deal with scales and stuff in a very public space. Like, we'll go to the Beechworth Bakery and do it, and the looks you get then are impressive. Look at that chody boy. That is a real chody boy. This thing from Stumpy Picks too. Oh my God, Dan, if you see this live stream, thank you so much for making this. This thing's amazing. I love it. So we always leave a little bit of space, because it's really annoying to have to tip stuff out of your bags. I might actually just turn this around a little bit. Hopefully this angle's all right. Here we go. These into frame. So the idea behind this too is I've had a lot of people buy these for kids, because, you know, kids just want to have that instant gratification, especially when they're young, and taking them proper prospecting is difficult. I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there that would understand that, because, yeah, the kid just wants to find treasure. Oh, look at that. That's a good one. See that? That's super cool. It's got one going backwards here, one off the side. It's another erection rock. That's what that is. Anyway, Kids just want that instant gratification, and this is like the kids pay dirt and this pay dirt. We did, like my partner was talking to me about it, saying, you should make something where that's what they get. They get an opportunity to do what it looks like on TV. We know the reality of it. It's not like that, but do something like that. Do something that's gonna give them that gratification that keeps them entertained for half an hour, something like that, where they're actually getting to use their hands and participate in a hobby with their parents or their guardians. And this is what this is about. This is how these bags came about before we did the kids pay dirt. Now, we've got some premium bags too. I could make up some of those premium bags today. That was a very loud noise. I could make up some premium... Ooh, what are they? What have we got? I do need to make some 2-grammers. And I could make a Nugget Rush. Ooh. I can't see chat on this angle. That's the problem. Interesting. What should we do? I got an idea. Hang on. I think I can create a poll on this, because this won't take me too long to nut these bags out. Let me have a look. Let me just have a look. Let me see if I can do this from the back end. No, I can't. God damn it. Because I'm on my phone, I can't actually create it. Damn. Okay. Let's see. Do you guys want to make a premium pay dirt up? Either a 2-gram or a Nugget Rush. One of the two. No poll. Oh, you can't help, Deb. So they don't allow admins to do polls either. God damn it. That's the worst. I love seeing the blue rocks go in because they stand out so hard against the background of that, like just the creamy brown colored dirt. Your side hair's all you have? Oh, bro, just own it. It's all right. I'll back you. You can have a haircut like this. Just go full bald and then like draw hair on the top. Be all right. Nugget Rush, Nugget Rush. People say Nugget Rush. We'll leave it open, and then Deb, I'll leave it up to you to tell me what the sort of consensus was while I concentrate on getting this stuff done. But we'll make one of them. I got the bags for that. We'll change it around again so I've got the phone out of my face. That way I can just concentrate on what I'm doing. So the back end of prospecting, this is what it is. Like the idea of going prospecting, it's great to find gold and go on the treasure hunt and get out and have your mental health and all of that, absolutely. But you wouldn't be doing it if it didn't have some kind of value beyond that, right? Like gold hunting has been something that has been, that's a really cool tumbled one. I quite like that. But gold prospecting, gemstone hunting, it's been done with money in mind forever. And so it's nice just to see, I think, the other end of it, the other side of why we prospect so much is because, it offers an opportunity for people to make a living. And not just me either. That's cool. That's in the unsearched dirt. That's an amethyst scepter. It's only little and it's a bit bleached out, but that's how they grow. That's a little amethyst scepter going into this one. Someone's going to get that in the sparkle bag. That's cool. I get a little bit jealous every time I see some of the stuff going in. I'm like, should I be sending that off or should I just be keeping that for myself? And then I ship it out and I forget about it pretty quickly, so it's all right. It works out in the end. People have used gold prospecting as back on track, back onto the original story. People use gold prospecting and gemstone hunting and all that to start again forever. Like literally as long as we've been digging it up, people have been doing that. This is one of those bags. It's been a bit dicky. And I know people who I buy gold off people on the creek now for, like I said, I try to pay as close to spot price as I can because I know that they're just doing it to make Need a water. Make a meager living. You know, they're out there just making a living. That's cool. That is cool. There you go. And they're working hard for it. You know, they're out in 35, 40 degree heat every day, making sure that they get gold so that they can afford things like food. And it's a very, I would say, dignified and honorable way of starting again for a lot of people, or even changing how you want to live. Some people just drop out of the rat race, right? They're like, I'm done with this. I'm over it. I'm not going to do this anymore. So they choose things like gold prospecting. To start again. Alright, I think we're pretty much at the end of that round of sparkle bags. There might be enough for one more in there. Maybe. Slightly too much in that one. That big rock just there. Get out. We'll see how we go. I reckon it'll be just short. Oh, it'll be close. Nah, probably just short. Oh, bang on. Nice. Put our crystal point in. Put a piece of amethyst in. Button it up. There we go. Cool. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, 17. We made 17 sparkle bags out of that. Like I said, I only make a few bucks off each of these because, you know, once you take into account things like taxation, GST, website transfer fees, bank transfer fees, etc., etc., this material has a pretty narrow profit margin on it. But the reviews I've got on it are really cool. I love hearing how excited people were to open these up. Someone ordered a couple of these for their 80-year-old grandmother who is a rock hound in the United States, and she can't get out anymore. She's got glaucoma. She can barely see, so it's dangerous for her to get out. But she got one of these, and she said she took her right back to her youth where she was, you know, in the mountains digging up crystals and gemstones, and that's what it's about. Super cool to be able to create that experience for someone. Right, Debbie, I'm going to fling this around. Debbie, what is the consensus for, bring up chat, for the 2 gram or the Nugget Rush bag? Which one are we doing? Nugget Rush. Cool, let's do that. Let me just pack some of this stuff up because we got bullshit everywhere. Okay, Nugget Rush. Nugget Rush, that's 2 grammers, gold ore, gold crystal. It would be that one right there. We can make 2 of these. Again, these big bags. This lot away. Look at me, all organized and stuff. All right, Nugget Rushes. So, Nugget Rushes were a hard one to kind of make work, and I'll explain you why. Pay dirt is a weird kind of industry to be in. It needs to be affordable, but you're dealing with materials that are expensive. In order for me to make a Nugget Rush worth it for the buyer, it has to be at a reasonable price point. But I also have to be able to procure the materials at a price that I can still make a profit on. Nuggets tend to go for a premium, and by definition, nuggets have a lot of weight in them, and that means that they are expensive. They're not something that is uh, cheap to buy for me, for anyone. With that being said, I came up with the idea after a little bit of experimenting that a 1.5 gram nugget rush seems to be perfect. The reason for that is we mix it with the same concentrates that I showed you with the 1 gram bags. So you have the chance for bonus gold in them, but it allows a little bit more room, that extra 0.5 of a gram, to add some chunkier pieces and more of them, because it would be kind of shit to open your pay dirt and only have like 3 little pieces of gold in there, right? Even if they were nuggets, it would make for a bad pay dirt. And then the other half to quarter gram of dirt of gold that we have left to fill in that 1.5 grams can be fine gold to give you a challenge to pan that out. So it's a little bit of both, right? Now, the problem with nuggets is, as I said before, prospectors generally want a premium for them. Where I try to pay close to spot price for fine alluvial gold, so fine alluvial gold is what you saw in this little tin, it's stuff that's under 20 mesh. That stuff is spot 24 karat spot price less $8 per gram. That $8 allows a buffer for me to have price fluctuations within the gold spot price. So if it drops dramatically, I can buffer that. It also allows for dirt. Almost no gold that I buy, there are a few people that manage to do it, but almost no gold I buy is 100% clean. And so on average, I lose a little. On average, it seems to be around 3 to 5% of my total weight that I buy is dirt that has to be removed from it before I put it into the pay dirt bags. So I have to then pay a premium on the chunkier bits. People come through and they want spot price, sometimes spot price plus 5 or 10%. And that is where it makes it tricky. So the 1.5 grams allows enough room for me to up the price a little bit because I've paid more for the gold and still make a profit whilst the pay dirt is also affordable. It's not like $500 or $600. It is expensive. It's like $330, I believe, at the moment for one of those bags. It's not cheap, but that's the reasoning behind why it is the price that it is. Hopefully this is going a long way to the people who are watching as to why pay dirt costs what it does. Right, let's flip this around and we will do this. So we start with a big bag. Now, we don't fill these big bags all the way up because they won't fit in the container. All right, this is our internal bladder. That's our internal bag. We need 2 of these. This is our cardboard container that we use to house it. The reason we put it in a cardboard container is because it is solid, right? It offers a level of protection to your internal bladder. So when these get packed, what you'll get is the dirt's in this, inside this. This is taped shut, and then this is placed inside a Ziploc bag and then taped shut again. So you have 3 layers of protection just on this. Then you have your external packaging bag. And that usually, we've not lost any yet. So that's, and they get hammered getting sent overseas. Man, some of the overseas postal people are brutal. Yeah, the photos I've received from some of them, you know, we've had gold leak out of this into this, we've had gold leak out of this and this into the other bag, but we've never lost one, so that is really good. We need to fill that up with well, now you know what, normally I do the gold first, so let's do the gold first. Because we pay a premium on chunky bits, we always like to make sure that our scales are zeroed off. It should say 50. If it's not, we will calibrate it. I'll bring that down so you can actually see it. There we go. Okay, so 50 gram calibration weight, 50.01, which is what we had before. That variance is more than acceptable. Right, so nugget rushes. We need some nuggets. We've got 2 here. Now, I don't know exactly what the weight is, so these might be slightly too big to put in the nugget rushes. These both come out of the Golden Triangle. So these were actually detected by the Coffee Bush Kid, if you know who he is. He's part of the Mine Lab, the Miner's Dead show, and he does parts in the live streaming show every single week. So these are really, really cool. I'm hoping they're under a gram. They look big. They look big, but they're quite porous. You can see that they're pitted. They're proper reef specimens. So they're not actually as heavy as they look in terms of their size. Let's find out how much each of these weigh. So tear that off. Perfect. 0.62. It's one of them. 0.72. So they're our nuggets that we're going to put into our Nugget Rush pay dirts. We need our bags. Now we're going to do the rest of it. So the 0.62 nugget, we're going to round this up to at least 1.25 grams of chunky bits. There we go, 1.35, perfect. So this makes up the majority of your Nugget Rush. Almost all of these pieces are going to be detectable by sensitive VLF machines, and most of them will be detectable from things like GPX, 6000, 7000. Some of them will be detectable by SDCs, and then you've got that really nice big chunky boy in there. So this is what Nugget Rushes are about, 1.35. Now we have to add in our fine gold. So this is what makes pay dirt, right? This is going to be what gives you the challenge later on. 1.52. So that is one of our Nugget Rush pay dirts right there. That's a pretty good little haul. That's a nice size nugget too. Yeah, man, they look bigger on cam. The only reason they look bigger on cam is, well, they are big. It's just that they're porous because they're reef gold. So then we tip that into our bag. And we do the next one. So we're going to, again, we pay premiums on nuggets. So we've got variance because I just mucked around with this. So we're going to tear that off. Watch it for a second. Hasn't moved. So now we can put this on. 0.72. So it still weighs exactly the same. We know our scales are good. We're going to round this up to at least 1.25. Oh, almost bang on the money. Look at that. And then we do the rest of it in fine gold. That's our challenge dirt. We want to go a little bit over the guaranteed 1.5. There we go, 0.52. That is actually a really nice piece in there. It's a little picker. That's cool. That's a really cool little piece. I like that. So we get our other bag. I'm just closing up the gold while I go because it's one of those things that when you're dealing with this much gold, you don't want to accidentally kick over your phone 10 grand worth of gold. Yeah, accurate scales, absolutely, man. Like I said, that's why they're reloading scales, because firearms tend to be a little bit more unforgiving than anything else. So you really want to make sure that you got good scales. I trust these impeccably. I've done it with plenty of known weights. Right, moving on. We've got our container. Then we've got our bag. This bag is clearly too big for this container. There is a reason for that. It's because we wrap this. Right, now we've got fine gold all the way up the top there. So as I said, this is exactly the same dirt goes into these as goes into the 1 gram and half gram bags. They're challenge bags, right? But the idea of Nugget Rush is that you get chunkier bits of gold. Once you get the dirt in there, you're pretty much safe. Like, you're home free in terms of having to make sure everything's good. All right, all of this dirt gets kicked out because customs really don't like it. We can fill this bag up just a touch more. And this is why I like using the slightly bigger... Oh, Mick's in the house. What's going on? So I like using the slightly bigger bags because we can roll that on its side and double this up.
And I found it tends to offer a little bit of protection to the rest of that bag. When I wasn't doing that, we did actually have some disasters. And we can put the lid on. Cool. So that is our Nugget Rush. We've got to put our stickers on the top of it. We have a Nugget Rush sticker that will be on that. And now we're going to do the other one. But that's what goes into a Nugget Rush. Oh, that's a dodgy container. Let's get rid of that one. Right. So that's what goes into our Nugget Rush bags. I really like them. I think they're really cool. And I know that they're a little bit expensive, obviously, because there's a bit of gold in them and they're nuggets and all of that sort of jazz. But if you can't afford one, man, they are some fun. So you actually, I know this sounds a little bit weird, but you actually get a little bit more dirt in this than you get in the 1 gram bags, but it doesn't look like it when you hold it up like this. And it's just because of the way it's laid out. So we just did a full scoop in there, and then we've done about another half scoop or so into the bag. So you get more concentrates. People have had some really good finds in this, like some over 2 gram recoveries out of Nugget Rush bags. Oh, that's the top lid on this one. Well, luckily we tape all that. That's good. Right, so we've got our 2 Nugget Rush bags. There we go. So you've just gone through the process of making sparkle bags, 1 gram bags, Nugget Rush. We have got slobber bags. Which are the unsearched ones. We've got the gem and crystal, which I really wanted to make today, but I forgot to go pick up some of the containers, which is just really not that good. You say Nugget Rush is at $310. There you go. That's probably your indication to go buy one, because that price is going to go up soon. Actually, it's probably going to go up immediately after this live stream, and literally only because the gold price is sitting so high at the moment. I'm paying $135 a gram was the last lot that I bought off someone. Like $135 a gram I bought it at. That was $8 less than spot. It's just ridiculous. It's an expensive game. I'm going to probably bring out a 1/4 gram bag in the near future just to mitigate some of that price point, so that you can still get a challenge pay dirt, but it's at an affordable price, right? It's so expensive at the moment. And for the guys over in Freedom Land, 140 Australian dollars is more like 98 US, 99 US, something like that. So don't stress too much. It's a little cheaper for you guys. Well, I'm going to give you an opportunity just to ask questions or stuff like that, and then I will, we'll have a bit of a chat, and then we might end this. Oh, someone's given a super chat too. Thank you. Whoever that was, thank you very much. That's awesome. Is this 24 purity, 135 a gram? Yeah, man. Yeah. So 24K purity is what look, when I first started doing this and purchasing gold, because I wasn't able to dig up enough gold to keep up with how many orders were coming in, I made the choice that I was going to pay as close to spot as I reasonably could, so that I could look after the small prospector. It's fine if you have a small scale mine and you want to go and sell 20 ounces or 10 ounces or something to a refinery. They're going to buy that. No one's going to look at the guy that's got a gram, right? And the people that do tend to be like cash first places, like pawn shops and things like that, that don't pay spot price because they do purity checks, and they do they have to make money based on the spot price and blah 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 blah. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's just not fair for the little guy, because he's doing the same doing the same work as what the other guys are. I was like, I can actually fill that gap. There are people who sell me 1/2 gram, 1 gram, and some of them are the guys that live on the creek. Some of them are just the hobby prospectors that wanted a little bit more money for Christmas, and they'd sell me 5 grams so they could buy their kids some presents. And I was like, I can pay pretty close to spot price. I don't have to purity check, because I'm not refining it. If I was refining it, I'd have to purity check. I'd have to know what carat the gold was, so I could then profit on top of that. It wouldn't make any business sense without doing that. So because it's going into pay dirt, I don't need to do that, and therefore I can I can pay a higher price to the hobby level prospector And I think that works out because now I've got people who want to sell me to me on a semi-regular basis when they find a bit of gold. And so that keeps my gold supply going in, but I'm also helping support them in what they want to do. And yeah, that's where we're at for that. So I pay one at the moment. The last lot I bought because the gold price was really high at the time. I think the gold price was like 140 something bucks, and I paid 135 because there was a couple of pickery chunky bits in there that I wanted to get hold of. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty expensive. AKS long range detector, are they worth it? I've never even heard of that brand, man. So I'm just going to go no, based off reputation, but I don't know anything about them. Oh, and we do, yeah, Debbie. For all the foreigners in chat, let me turn this camera around. Up here, oh, knock over the table. Up here, we have a shed security spider. See that? He's my spider. See all the bugs that he's got around him? He does a fantastic job of keeping this shed safe with all the gold. The security spider. Last live stream we did, we were joking about how I've got a security spider. Oh, I just saw the sapphire pay dirt. Let's do a couple of them. But we had a big joke in chat about there being shed security spiders. Now we have merch. We have shed security spider t-shirts. Debbie, if you've got the link for those, go check them out. You don't have to buy one, but we've got spider security shirts. You should. I'm getting one to wear myself. Look at this. We've got more to do. Definitely check it out. It's so cool. I love that shirt. It looks like a proper tradie company, right? Yeah, but I bet you've got some security spiders too, right? But it looks like a proper tradie shirt, like something you would see someone who builds sheds wear. So we've got this new shirt. It's awesome. Oh, Mick, he's going to live for years. They live for a really long time. So, and he doesn't move. He hasn't moved since last live stream. Everyone panics. They're like, oh, it's going to get bigger and it's going to go. Nah, it's just, that's where it stays. It's so freaking cool. All right. Let's do the sapphire bags. Oh, man. I've been wanting to do this for years. Not years, that's a lie. For the last 12 months, I've been trying to get my hands on this material and finally got it. This is a sapphire slobber bag. So let me explain this. I went up to do Gemfest. Gemfest was amazing, right? Just so cool. It was such a good event. As part of that, I managed to pick up some sapphire concentrates to turn them into sapphire slobber bags. And then I spent the next 8 months trying to get my hands on more sapphires. I did it. Look. So these are bags of sapphires. Look, most of it is low-grade sapphire. There's zircon, there's garnet, there's spinel or spinel, and there's corundum, and there is, I think I already said it, some sapphire. There are cuttable gems in this lot. Now, they don't look like much here in this light. When you get them underwater and in daylight or the right light, oh, man. So good. So good. So these bags, I've put a minimum of 10 grams or 50 carats in each bag of these. Then what we do is we mix it with unsearched cons from a sapphire bearing creek. Now, there is probably a little bit of gold in this, like not much. Don't get excited. You might get a flake or two in your bag if you're lucky. But these are unsearched cons. They have garnets. I should reiterate, they have the chance for garnets, the chance for peridot, and the chance for sapphires in this. So we've just done the same thing we would do with prospecting. We would look for an area that has high friction, low velocity, and this is where we would where we pulled these cons from. So these have got a lot more ironstone in them. They're not Reedy Creek cons. They're from a completely different area. Now, we had to pre-weigh all these because obviously we bought these sapphires in from Rodney up, who runs Gemfest. So he collected all of these sapphires for us and we purchased them off him. So they're Central Queensland sapphires, corundum, spinel, zircons. And this is how we make them. Same thing, same size as slobber bag. So you can see in here, you've already got some natural, see these darker stones here? These are possibly where you're going to find your raw natural pieces of sapphire that were unsearched in the pay dirt. Unfortunately, because we pre-weighed them into bags like this, we kind of have to do this arse about. Whereas we can't just dump the dirt in on top of these bags, because if we do that, they're not mixed through. So we got to shake them out on top of the scoop, which is sketchy AF. We can leave some in there, and then we tip them all back in. But that just mixes them up, right? So that when you open your bag, not all your good stuff's down the bottom. It's actually mixed through like a proper pay dirt. Shake it down, zip it up. So these were all mined up in the north of Queensland, central Queensland, from Rodney. And yeah, there's some really nice cuttable stones in there. I've seen a couple go in already. Yeah, Rodney told me to go through them and pick some good ones out. But honestly, I was more excited just to get these in bags and start shipping them out. So these are $26, right? And you might get a cuttable stone in them. There's definitely cuttable stones in there. But again, low-grade sapphire, spinel, corundum, garnets, zircons, they're primarily what is in here. And then you've got your unsearched stuff. So yeah, we'll do a couple of them, right? Now, so did I see that question on Super Chat? Man, put it up again. What was the question? I'll answer it for sure. I didn't see it because when you did the Super Chat, I didn't actually see the Super Chat come up, and I can't actually go back on a mobile phone properly in chat like I could on a computer. So send it again. I'll definitely answer it. Well, Debbie, if you know what the question is, could you just post it up for me? No, these specifically aren't garnets. There are garnets in this wash though. I don't know, like there's not heaps, but there are garnets in there. This is why you watch an Australian video. Look, we're larrikins, right? Like we should be good entertainment value. Oh, you want to see a live cleanup of a pay dirt? Yeah, man, we could probably organize that. I'm not going to do it today because I've been streaming now for like an hour and a quarter, and I would need to go and get a whole bunch of stuff set up just to make that happen. So I won't do that today, but the next live stream, that's actually a really good idea. Look at that. That's a sapphire. Again, no light behind it, so you're not going to be able to see all of it, but that's wicked. It's just cool. Like, it's a wicked piece of geology to be able to own. I've got a few now from up north, and I just think they're super cool. Love the shovel. Yeah, Dan made the shovel. Dan, you should start selling old moldy shovels. Or make me some and I'll sell them. Who wants an old moldy shovel? Anyone want an old moldy shovel? So we leave some in the bottom because, you know, we can definitely do that. Hell yeah. Let's get like 5 or 6 of them made up, and they can be little like pay dirt, scoopy shovels. The only thing I'd say is we got to put a bend in the handle because it's sitting flat. It'd be better if it was like a little bend, so it was like a spoon when I scoop. That's all. But it is a really, really nice scoop. Look how many bags I got to do. Jesus Christ. I try to do a couple a day, but you want an old moldy shovel? See, people want old moldy shovels. I reckon it'd be cool to just be cleanups and stuff. I reckon, or even as a little crevice tool, that'd be neat too. That one has some good ones in it. I can see some glassy pieces from there. Look at that. That's still got the crystal shape in it. That one's neat. That's a proper sapphire crystal or a corundum crystal at the very least. That bag's gonna be cool. I want a wooden spoon. So yeah, bit of potluck. You can see some spinels in there. See some nice bits of corundum. Really cool. I love it. Whole moldy shovel, please, Vic says. There you go. Well, I think I'm going to call it there because we've been, like I said, streaming for an hour and 20 minutes. Say proper again. Proper. That's how it. that's how we speak in Aussie land. Aussie McGee, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I spent $600 on repairing my phone 2 days ago, and I'm a bit broke after that, to be honest, if I'm being real, because $600 is a lot of money. That's a lot of money to spend on to spend on a phone screen. So I appreciate that very much. That would be great to show people what they possibly get. Yeah, like I think that's a great idea. What we'll do is the next live stream, I'll set it up, I'll set everything up, and we'll pick whether or not we want to use like a little mini cleanup sluice or do it by hand with a pan. And then I'll put 2 or 3 different pay dirts in front of you that you can pick from. Like, so you can pick which one you really want to see. We'll set up a poll, we'll vote for it, and then we'll go through and we'll process a pay dirt and we'll see what we get out of it. Because it's interesting, a lot of the stuff that we put in there, I don't actually know what's in there, right? Like, we know that there's a guaranteed gram, but it's mixed with stuff that's unsearched. So you have the opportunity of finding bloody anything. Some people come out with, exactly what I put in the bag and nothing extra. And some people come out with a lot extra. And it's always amazing to see, especially at that end, when people get considerably more than what I put in there out of a pay dirt bag. So, all right, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. My voice is pretty shot. I hope you have a ripper weekend wherever you are in the world. Please stay safe. And make sure that wherever you are, you say hi to your mum for me, because she needs hellos too. I'm going to go. Happy Saturday, wherever you are. Bye.